Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really satisfying, a classic meal. It's the grilled steak dinner with sides from Bite the Mic, episode 08.
Right. And our mission today, well, it isn't just reading you the recipe.
No, definitely not.
We want to really pull apart the techniques.
Yeah.
Figure out the flavor combos that make this meal work so well.
Exactly. We're talking grilled steak, the sautéed onions, and gotta have it, cheesy broccoli.
The trifecta.
Yeah.
Looking at what makes each part tick and how they come together.
The source promises bold flavors, rich textures, and comforting classics done right. That sounds pretty good to me.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
And the idea is to show you how to get that steakhouse feel at home. Doesn't matter if you're using a big outdoor grill or just like a grill pan inside.
Okay, so let's start with the main event, the steak.
Makes sense. So the recipe mentions ribeye, which, fantastic choice. All that marbling is perfect for the grill.
Right.
But crucially, it also says, use your favorite cut, which is smart. People have preferences.
Totally. And the seasoning seems almost too simple.
Well, sometimes simple is best. It's just garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, salt. Oh, and maybe some fresh rosemary if you have it.
It really lets the steak be the star, doesn't it?
Exactly. No need to overcomplicate when you've got good meat.
Now, something the recipe stresses, and it's good advice, is resting the steak after grilling. Why is that step so critical? People get impatient,
Oh, absolutely. It's tempting to just slice right in. But think about what happens during cooking. That intense heat tightens up all the muscle fibers in the steak,
Okay.
and they squeeze out the juices. If you cut it straight away, all that flavor just pools on your cutting board. A sad sight.
Yeah, I've done that. Definitely sad.
But resting it for, say, 5, maybe 10 minutes lets everything relax. Those fibers loosen up, and they actually reabsorb a lot of that moisture.
Ah, okay. So it stays inside the steak.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You get a much juicier, much more tender result. It's
Yeah.
like a small pause that makes a huge difference. Don't skip it.
Got it. Rest is non-negotiable. So the grilling itself, medium-high heat, 4-5 minutes aside for medium rare. Seems standard enough.
It is, but it's effective. And they do say adjust for how you like it cooked, obviously.
And they mention using a meat thermometer, aiming for 130 Fahrenheit for medium rare.
Which is really helpful. Takes the guesswork out. You're not just poking it and hoping.
So what's the ideal outcome here? What are we looking for visually and taste-wise?
You want that contrast. That medium-high heat gives you a fantastic crust on the outside. This is the Maillard reaction doing its thing. Loads of savory flavor.
Right, that nice char.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But because it's not like super high heat blasting it, the inside cooks more gently. Stays tender, especially with that rest we talked about.
Okay, so good sear, cooked through properly, and juicy thanks to the rest fundamentals.
You got it. It's all about executing those basics really well.
All right, let's shift gears. The onions. Sautéed onions can be amazing or kind of sad.
Yeah, true. These sound promising, though. They specify red onions.
Which are a bit sweeter to start with, right?
Yeah, naturally sweeter. And the goal is explicitly sweet and savory.
So how do we get there? Just cooking them down in oil?
Pretty much. Thinly sliced red onions, medium heat, maybe 10 minutes or so. You're softening them up, obviously, getting rid of that raw bite. But you're also coaxing out their natural sugars. As they cook, those sugars start to caramelize a little, get golden brown, nutty.
Okay, that makes sense for the sweet part. But what about the savory? And there's an optional ingredient.
Yes, the balsamic vinegar. That's the little trick here.
Splash at the end.
Exactly. And it does more than just add sweetness, although it does that too. Balsamic has that tanginess, that nice acidity.
Right, it's got complexity.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it cuts through the richness a bit, adds another layer, and really helps achieve that sweet, savory balance they're going for. Plus, salt and pepper. Basic, but essential.
These sound like they'd be a fantastic counterpoint to the rich steak, not just an afterthought.
Definitely not. They sound like a properly considered element of the dish.
Okay, last piece. The cheesy broccoli. Described as a true comfort hit.
And who doesn't love cheesy broccoli? Right. The prep sounds super simple.
Yeah, just steam or boil it briefly, like 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, until it's tender but still has a bit of bite. You don't want mushy broccoli. Ever.
Please no.
And the magic, melted cheddar, a bit of milk or cream, that's your sauce. Simple, classic, delicious.
Creates that creamy, velvety texture that just coats everything. Instant comfort.
Exactly. And again, just salt and pepper. It lets the cheese and the broccoli flavor come through.
It's interesting. This whole meal feels like it's built on really solid, fundamental flavors done well. Nothing too wacky.
That's the beauty of it sometimes. The broccoli gives you that creamy richness, which is lovely with the steak.
Yeah.
There's also, green.
Yes, it is green.
Adds that visual brightness and a slightly different texture, so the whole plate doesn't feel too heavy or one note. It provides a nice balance.
Okay, so we've looked at the steak, the onions, the broccoli individually. How do they all work together? What's the synergy?
Well, you've got the savory, meaty steak as the foundation. Then the onions come in with that sweet tanginess and softer texture. And the broccoli brings the creamy comfort, but also that slight freshness. It's a great mix of textures. The chew of the steak, the melty onions, the tender, crisp broccoli.
It's a complete package.
Exactly. Satisfying on multiple levels.
And I love that pro tip they included. Drizzling the steak juices over the cheesy broccoli.
Oh yeah, that's inspired. Why let those juices go to waste?
Right, it connects everything. Brings that savory steak flavor onto the broccoli too.
Adds another layer of richness. And the other suggestion, a squeeze of lemon juice. Also smart.
For balance.
Yeah, just a little acidity to cut through all the richness, brighten things up if it feels a bit heavy. Good call.
And then naturally they suggest pairing it with red wine or whatever you like to drink. It really elevates it to a proper sit-down enjoyable meal.
Absolutely. It feels, like they say, indulgent and balanced. You're treating yourself, but it's a well-rounded plate.
It really proves you don't need tons of crazy ingredients for a great meal. It's about technique and understanding how flavors work together.
Spot on. Quality ingredients, solid techniques. That's often the secret.
So, summing up our deep dive here, key things are nail the steak basics, sear, cook temp, and especially the rest.
Definitely. And don't underestimate what a little balsamic can do for simple sautéed onions. Takes them from good to great.
Right, adds that sweet, savory complexity. And finally, embrace the simple comfort of cheesy broccoli, cooked just right.
It all comes back to mastering those fundamentals to create something really satisfying.
Which leads us to a final thought for you to consider. Think about how these straightforward methods, simple seasonings, basic cooking techniques like searing or sautéing, created this really complete and flavorful meal. What other classic dishes, maybe ones you make regularly, could benefit from focusing on nailing those core techniques? Where else could simple methods unlock deeper flavors or better textures?
Something to chew on.
Indeed. Until next time on The Deep Dive, thanks for joining us.